Welcome to This Week in Adventist History. On September 25, 1931, Emidio Sequeira was born in Nairobi, Kenya. Of Goan extraction, he was always known during his church work as Jack. He and his family moved to Great Britain, where he became a Seventh-day Adventist and went to study at Newbold College. There he was mentored by legendary missionary and theology teacher George D. Keogh. After graduating, Jack worked in literature evangelism in England and married a local Adventist woman, Jean Harrison. Jack and Jean went for a year to Andrews University, from where Jack graduated with an M.A. in systematic theology and Christian philosophy in 1965. Jack and Jean were called from there to missionary service in the Uganda mission field, where they served a year. The Sequeiras were then called to Kenya to teach at Kamagambo Secondary and Training School, where they worked from 1966 to 1968 and had a son, Christopher, born to them. The Sequeiras then went back to Uganda, where Jack served for 2 years as departmental secretary, director we would say today, of the Education, Young People's and Temperance departments. A daughter, Jennifer, was born while they were in Uganda. In 1970, the Sequeiras went to Andrews University, where in 1971 Jack obtained an MDiv degree and became a U.S. citizen. He was called that year to be president of Bugema Adventist College in Uganda, but he had only served in that capacity for a year when in 1972 the Ugandan dictator Idi Amin ordered the expulsion of all persons of Indian ethnicity from Uganda, and the Sequeiras were forced to leave. They moved to Ethiopia, where Jack served as Ministerial Association Secretary for the Ethiopian Union Mission until 1978. The family then moved back to Kenya. You see Jack and Jean in these photos taken at this time. Jack served as Evangelism Director and Ministerial Association Secretary for the East African Union Mission for 2.5 years, and then as chaplain for Adventist students in Kenyan public universities for 18 months. The Sequeira family moved to the United States in the summer of 1982. Jack pastored in Idaho for 5 years, and then was pastor of the Walla Walla City Church in Washington State from 1987 to 1991. He and Jean moved in 1991 to Washington, D.C., where for 10 years Jack was pastor of the Capitol Memorial Church in the U.S. capital city. Initially retiring nearby, Jack and Jean later moved back to the U.S. West Coast. Jack Sequeira died in Portland, Oregon on March 26, 2022. That was This Week in Seventh-day Adventist History.